Txdot is here to assist you with completing a successful pre-trip inspection for the commercial driver license skills test. We are using a 6-yard dump truck since most districts are utilizing it for their employee skills test. Make sure to wear all of your personal protective equipment while both practicing and conducting your exam. Nothing is more important than your safety. When you get to the exam site, make sure you have all of the required paperwork for the vehicle as well as your required documents. Once you have checked in, the examiner will randomly pull a card which will decide which part of the vehicle you'll be responsible for discussing. It is critical that you specifically say cracked, damaged, loose, or abrasions, bumps, or cuts. Also, when appropriate, say that nothing is bent or broken, or there are no illegal welds. You should not use any other terms. What terms are used in the manual are the terms that you need to use during your test. Remember, you need to stay within 45 minutes to complete the pre-trip exam, which includes the in-cab inspection as well as your brake check. You need to be very familiar with your vehicle to be able to get everything completed in this time frame. The following sections will be exactly how you will need to conduct your exam, describing each component. My clearance lights are amber in color. They are not cracked, damaged, loose, and properly secure. There's no illegal stickers on my windshield. There's no chips, cracks. It is properly clean. I don't have any fluid underneath the vehicle, which would indicate a leak within the engine compartment. My suspension is not leaning to one side, which would indicate it's sitting off in a hole or is sitting on a hill. My left turn signal is not cracked, damaged, loose, is properly secure, is amber in color. My left headlight, which is high beam and low beam, is not cracked, damaged, loose, is properly secure. My right turn signal, amber in color, is not cracked, damaged, loose, and is properly secure. My right headlight, which is high beam, low beam, is not cracked, damaged, loose, and is properly secure, and it is not fogged out. Here are my safety triangles. They're present. This is my windshield washer reservoir. It's not cracked, damaged, or loose, and is properly secure. It's not leaking any fluid. The cap is present and is not cracked, damaged, or loose. This is my coolant reservoir. It is not cracked, damaged, or loose. It's properly secure. The cap is present. It is not cracked, damaged, or loose. It's got adequate fluid. The radiator is not cracked, damaged, or loose. It's properly secure. This is my water pump. It is not cracked, damaged, or loose. It is properly secure. It is belt driven. The belt cannot have any more than 3/4 inch of play, and the belt is free from any abrasions, bumps, or cuts. This is my AC compressor. It is not cracked, damaged, or loose. It is properly secure, and it is belt driven. The belt cannot have any more than 3/4 inch of play. This is my alternator. It is not cracked, damaged, or loose. It is properly secure. It is belt driven. The belt cannot have any more than 3/4 inch of play. All hoses for my radiator are free from any abrasions, bumps, or cuts. General overview of my engine compartment. None of my hoses have any abrasions, bumps, or cuts. There's no fluid leaks within the engine compartment. This is my air compressor. It is not cracked, damaged, or loose. It is properly secure. The air compressor is gear driven. This is my power steering pump. It is not cracked, damaged, or loose. It is properly secure. The power steering pump is gear driven. This is my oil dipstick. The fluid is above the add line, or should be above the add line, is at a safe operating level. This is my power steering fluid reservoir. It is not cracked, damaged, or loose. It is properly secure. My power steering fluid reservoir cap has a dipstick. This should indicate a adequate fluid is at a safe operating level. This is my power steering shaft. It is not cracked, damaged, or loose, and it does not have more than 10 degrees of play. The U-joints for my power steering shaft are properly lubricated and there's not any sign of any uneven wear. This is my gearbox. It is not cracked, damaged, or loose and it is properly secure. This is my 3-piece steering linkage. It is secured by castle nuts and cotter keys. It is not cracked, damaged, or loose and it is properly secure. This is my frame. It is not cracked, damaged, or loose and there are not any illegal welds. This is my shock mount, my upper and lower mount. They are not cracked, damaged, or loose. The top and bottom mounts are properly secure. There's not any fluid leaking from the shock absorber. These are my leaf springs. They are not cracked, broken, or loose, and they are properly secure, as well as free from any illegal welds. No more than 1/4 of the leaf springs can be missing or broken. Here are my leaf spring hangers. They are free from any illegal welds. They are not cracked, damaged, or loose. This is my brake chamber. It is not cracked, damaged, or loose, and is properly secure. This is my push rod and slack adjuster. I have less than 1 inch of play in my push rod and slack adjuster. My air line to my brake chamber is free from any abrasions, bumps, or cuts. This is my ABS line. It is free from any abrasions, bumps, or cuts. This is my drive axle. It is not cracked, damaged, or loose. This is my steer rod. It is not cracked, damaged, bent, or broken. This is my bump stop system. And my U-bolts are not cracked, damaged, or loose, and they are properly secure. The inside of my drive tire is free from any abrasions, bumps, or cuts, and is properly seated to the rim. The rim is not cracked, damaged, or bent, and there's not any illegal welds. There's a dust cover that is over the brake drum, but when I check the brakes, I have to make sure there's at least 1/4 inch of material. This is the top of my drive tire. I must have at least 4/32 of material, and is a virgin radial. All tires on the same axle should match. There are not any debris or objects in the tread that will damage my tire. My tire pressure should be at 100 psi, as recommended by the manufacturer. The tire on the outside is free from any abrasions, bumps, or cuts, and the tire is properly seated onto the rim. The rim is not bent, cracked, or damaged, and there's not any illegal welds. These are my lug nuts. They are properly secure. If they were not secure, they'd be indicated by either rust streaks or shiny metal. Behind the lug nuts, this is my wheel hub. It is not cracked, damaged, or loose. It is not leaking any fluid. This is my valve stem. My valve stem is not cracked, damaged, or loose. It's not leaking any air, and the valve stem cap is properly secure. This is my mirror bracket. It is not cracked, damaged, or loose. It's properly secure. My mirrors are properly adjusted and they're clean. They're not cracked, damaged, or loose. This is my door handle. It's not cracked, damaged, or loose. It's properly secure. My door is properly sealed. The door opens. My weather stripping is free from any abrasions, bumps, or cuts and is present. My door closes properly, has a proper seal. My steps are not cracked, damaged, or loose. They're properly secure, present. My fuel tank is not cracked, damaged, or loose. It's properly secured by the fuel straps. My fuel tank cap is present with the safety chain, with the gasket. The cap can be properly secured. There are no intrusions into the back of my cab. My back window is present, is clean, is not damaged in any way. My tarp is properly stowed, is not cracked, damaged, or loose. My side marker, amber in color, are not cracked, damaged, or loose, and they are properly secure. Got my rear side reflectors. They are not red in color, they are not cracked, damaged, or loose, and they are properly secure. My frame is not cracked, damaged, or loose. There's no illegal welds. My exhaust is not cracked, damaged, or loose, and is properly secure. If it were damaged or loose, it'd be indicated by soot marks. My hydraulic line is free from any abrasions, bumps, or cuts. My hydraulic tank is not cracked, damaged, or loose, and is properly secure. My cap to my hydraulic fluid has the ring, which is present, and the safety chain, which is present and secure. Underneath the vehicle, my drive shaft is not cracked, damaged, or loose, and is properly secure. Going into my universal joints, there's no uneven wear. They're properly lubricated. Going into my rear differential, it's not leaking any fluid. It's not cracked, damaged, or loose. My brake chambers are not cracked, damaged, or loose. They're properly secure. It's my leaf spring hanger. It is not cracked, damaged, or loose, and is properly secure. My leaf springs are not cracked, damaged, or loose. They are properly secure. No more than 1/4 can be damaged or missing. Inside dual tire, it's free from any abrasions, bumps, or cuts. It's properly seated onto the rim. My inside dual tire cannot have any less than 2/32 of material. Nothing in the tread that will damage it, such as metal or other debris. The inside bud spacing between my duals, it's got adequate space in between the tires. It's free from any debris. My outside tire is free from any abrasions, bumps, or cuts, and is properly seated onto the rim. The rim is not cracked, damaged, or loose. There's no illegal welds. My lug nuts are properly secure. If they weren't, they'd be indicated by either rust streaks or shiny metal. My hub is not cracked, damaged, or loose. It is properly secure. It's not leaking any fluid. My valve stem is not cracked, damaged, or loose, and is properly secure, and it's got the valve stem cap. My mud flap hanger is not cracked, damaged, or loose, and is properly secure. My mud flap has got sufficient clearance off the ground, and it is not touching my tire. This is my rear tail light and blinker. It is red in color, is not cracked, damaged, or loose, and is properly secure. This is my rear tail light and blinker. It is not cracked, damaged, or loose, and is properly secure. My tag light is underneath, is not cracked, damaged, or loose, and is properly secure. My license plate is not cracked, damaged, or loose, it is properly secure. The rear of my truck is not cracked, damaged, or loose, damaged in any way. My glide hand has a proper seal, it is not leaking any air. My airline to my trailer and to my trailer to my truck is free from any abrasions, bumps, or cuts, and is the appropriate size. My electric line is free from any abrasions, bumps, or cuts, and is properly secure. Primary airline, the glide hand is properly secure, not leaking any air. The airline itself is free from any abrasions, bumps, or cuts. From my truck to my trailer, and my trailer to my truck is free from any abrasions, bumps, or cuts. My 3 identification lights, or DOT lights, are present. They're red in color, not cracked, damaged, or loose. My D-rings are not cracked, damaged, or loose. They are properly secure. My safety chains are not cracked, damaged, or loose. They are properly secure. They're in the cradle position. My pintle hook is a bolt-in. It is not cracked, damaged, or loose. It is properly secure. My pintle hitch release is not cracked, damaged, or loose. It is properly secured by the cotter key. The front of my trailer, the lanyard, is not cracked, damaged, or loose. It is properly secure. The bolts are not cracked, damaged, or loose, and properly secure. The DOT conspicuously is present, it's clean, and secure. The tongue of my trailer, it's not cracked, damaged, or loose. There's no illegal welds. My landing gear is not cracked, damaged, or loose. It is properly secure. My handle is properly stowed. It's not cracked, damaged, or loose. My storage area is free from any debris. My side marker, amber in color, is not cracked, damaged, or loose. My other side marker is not cracked, damaged, or loose. My DOT conspicuously is present. My D-ring, my tie downs is not cracked, damaged, or loose, and is properly secure. D-ring is not cracked, damaged, or loose, and is properly secure. My frame does not have any illegal welds. It is not cracked, damaged, or loose, and there's no fluids underneath the trailer. My airlines are free from any abrasions, bumps, or cuts. My slack adjusters are properly adjusted. They're not crack damaged or loose. So inside my duals, the bud spacing, there's got adequate spacing between the tires so they're not rubbing together. There's no trash, no debris. My tires, my rear tires can be recaps. They cannot have any less than 2/32 of material. There cannot be anything in the tread that could cause damage. The outside of my tire is free from any abrasions, bumps, or cuts. It is properly seated onto the rim. The rim does not have any illegal welds. It's not cracked, damaged, or loose. My lug nuts are properly secure. If they weren't, it'd be indicated by rust streaks or by shiny metal. This is my hub seal. It's not cracked, damaged, or loose, and is not leaking any fluid. This is my valve stem. My valve stem cap is present. It is not cracked, damaged, or loose, and is properly secure. These are my leaf springs. No more than a quarter can be missing or damaged. All of are present. They're not cracked, damaged, or loose. There's no illegal welds. The U-bolts are present. They're not cracked, damaged, or loose. They're properly secure. My mud flap hanger is not cracked, damaged, or loose. It is properly secure. My mud flap has got sufficient clearance off the ground and it is not touching my tire. It's my DOT conspicuousy. My D-ring is properly secure, not cracked, damaged, or loose. Side reflector, red in color. It's not cracked, damaged, or loose. This is my DOT conspicuousy tape. It is clear and present, not faded. It's my blinker and tail light. It is red in color, not cracked, damaged, or loose. These are my 3 identification lights, or 3 DOT lights, red in color, not cracked, damaged, or loose. This is my tag light. It is not cracked, damaged, or loose. It is present. My license plate is not cracked, damaged, or loose. It is present and it is clean. My right blinker and tail light are not cracked, damaged, or loose. They're red in color.
Okay, now that we've completed our outside pre-trip, we're going to do an in-cab. Regardless of what you inspect on the outside of your vehicle, you will do an in-cab inspection and you will also do a air brake test. The first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that your seat is properly located, it's situated, it's comfortable for you. You can reach your gas pedal, you can reach your brake pedal, and you can reach your clutch. Once you have your seat adjusted, go ahead and you want to put your seatbelt on. You want to make sure that your seatbelt is not frayed, it's not tore, and it does clip. It clicks in, it is secure. And now what you want to do is you want to do again an overview of your cab. You want to make sure there's nothing on the floor that would get in the way of my clutch, my brake, or my gas pedal. You're looking to make sure there's nothing on the floor of the cab that would fly around. You also want to check on the front. You want to check on your dash. You want to make sure you don't have any papers or anything that would cause a reflection in your windshield that could distract you. You're looking also to make sure that you don't have any illegal stickers, your windshield is not cracked, and it's not chipped. Once you've done an overview of the inside of your cab, you're ready to start your in-cab check. The first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start your vehicle. You want to place it in neutral. And you'll notice your ABS light comes on. It will blink and then it will go off, showing that your ABS system is operational. You can see it. You're going to want to go ahead and turn your lights on. And you want to, when you do your in-cab, you want to go in a systematic order so that you don't just point to things, because you can forget something and you can fail your inspection. So the first thing I like to do is I want to go ahead and look at my dash. You want to point and let them know this is my speedometer. Of course, it's not working right now because the vehicle is stationary. This is my air pressure gauge. It's one gauge, but we have 2 needles, one for our emergency and one for our service. Then we move over to our RPM gauge. If I put the throttle on, I can see that we've gone from about 8,000 to about 15,000 RPM. I'm going to come down and showing my fuel gauge. My fuel gauge showing that I'm having full tank. I'm looking at my amp meter, which is showing my batteries are being charged. I'm coming over here and I'm looking at my oil pressure gauge, which shows my vehicle has proper oil pressure. And I'm also looking at my engine temperature gauge, which is just about not quite up to 100 degrees because the vehicle is still on the cool side. Once I've done that, I want to go ahead and I'm going to continue over, and I want to check my defroster. So I'm going to go ahead and put my defroster on, turn the fan up high, and I want to check if my defroster is working. Once I've checked that, I can go ahead and shut that off. I want to move to my steering wheel. I'm going to make sure that I don't have more than 10 inches of play. And while I'm on my steering wheel, I'm going to check my horn. It's an electric horn. Our horn is working. Now, since I'm still on my dash, I haven't moved down because I'm on my column, I want to check my turn signals. I want to make sure that my indicators are working inside the cab. My right turn signal is operational. Now I want to check my four-ways, and I'm looking at my four-ways are operational. I want to go ahead and hit my right indicator, which shows that my brights were on. Now I'm going to go ahead and check my windshield wipers. Windshield wipers are working properly. I'm going to check my windshield washer. My windshield washer is working properly. Also, another thing that you want to not forget, and it's very important, are your emergency. You have to have our fire extinguisher, which is fully charged, is secure on the floor of the vehicle. We showed you earlier our warning triangles are on the side panel on the right side of the truck, and also our fuses, which would be kept in the glove box. Those are the three safety things, emergency things that you must have inside your cab or in with you at all times. Now that we've gone around and we've checked all of our lights, we've checked all of our gauges, we've checked the defroster, we've checked our turn signals, we've checked our four-ways, we've checked our windshield, we've checked our wipers, and we've also checked our windshield washer. Now what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and start and do our air brake test. Now one thing we want to make mention of is you may forget to mention something on your dash. You may forget to do your right turn signal. You can still pass your in-cab vehicle because you may have failed to mention one of your gauges. But your air brakes are one of the most important things that you have to accomplish on your pre-trip inspection. If you miss any step of your air brake, you have completely failed your pre-trip inspection. Does not matter how well you did on the outside, doesn't matter how well you've done inside your cab. If you fail any component of the air brake test, you have failed your pre-trip. So one of the things you want to do is you want to talk to your evaluator. You're going to go ahead and you're going to place your vehicle in first gear. Once it's in first gear, you can go ahead and shut your vehicle off. And you can tell them that you're going to go ahead and you're going to start your air brake test. What you want to do is you want to turn your ignition to the on position. You don't want to start your vehicle, but turn it to the on position so that your gauges read. Again, your ABS light has come on, and that will go off here in just a moment. It will blink and it will go off, showing that your ABS system is set and it is working properly. You want to tell your examiner, now I'm going to charge my system, and I'm at about 120 psi, and it will lose some air pressure because I'm going to go ahead and charge my system. So I'm going to push in my trailer brake and my dump truck brake. And as you can see, we've already lost about 20 pounds of psi, and it's going to continue to drop. And just wait until your needle stop because it is checking your system. And you also want to roll down your window because you want to make sure you don't hear any air leaking from a line. You're going to continue to watch your gauges as your gauges move down. Looks like we're steady at about 95, between 95 and 100 psi. So what you want to do now is you want to do your static display. One of the best ways to remember this is the word SALE, S-A-L-E. You want to do your static, you're going to do your apply, you're going to do your leak down, and you're going to do your emergency, S-A-L-E. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to perform my static display, and I'm going to go ahead and look at my gauges, and my gauges I should not lose any more than 3 psi for 60 seconds. Now you cannot use a cell phone, but you can either use your watch or you can tell the examiner, I will count to 60. Now You may count all the way to 60, or the examiner, you may go 15, 20, and they may say that's fine if it didn't drop any. So I'm going to go ahead and look at my gauges, and I'm going to count to 10 and simulate that the evaluator said that you are fine. So I'm going to look at my gauges right now, and I'm going to start to count. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008, 1009, 1010. I'm looking at my air gauge, and I have not lost any pounds of pressure at all. Now I'm going to apply my brake, which means I'm going to go ahead and put my foot on the brake, and I'm going to push it all the way down and look at my gauge again. It will lose some air, but once it stops, I'm going to count to 60 again, and I should not lose more than 4 pounds of PSI. My gauge has stopped, so now I'm going to go ahead and count to 60 and make sure that I don't lose any more than 4 pounds of PSI. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008, 1009, 1010. I have not lost any more than 4 pounds of PSI. Now I'm going to do my leak down, which means I am now going to go ahead and fan my brakes. When the air pressure drops to about 60 PSI, my warning light is going to come on, and also the sound of that beeping is going to go as a steady tone as my warning that I am losing air pressure. So now I'm going to begin to fan my brakes. My warning light has come on, and my warning buzzer now has a steady tone, which is warning me I am losing air pressure. Now I'm going to continue to fan my brakes, and when the air drops between 25 and 40 PSI, both of my air buttons are going to pop out. And you want to make sure you can point to them, but do not touch them. You do not want to touch them. If the evaluator sees you touching them, they can fail you and say that you pulled those out. So you can point to them, but do not touch them. So now I'm going to go ahead and fan my brakes. Both of them popped out at just about 40 PSI. So I've done my static display, I did my apply, I did my leak down, and I did my emergency. Now what I want to do is I'm going to do my true tug test and my service brake test. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a safety start. I'm going to put the clutch in, and I'm going to put it in neutral, and I'm going to restart my vehicle. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and let my air pressure build up. Of course, the warning light is still on because I'm low air pressure, and my ABS light once again is flashing. You can run your RPM up to go ahead and build your air pressure back up. It should only take about 45 seconds to a minute to build up pressure for your warning light to come off. And it went off, and the warning went off. So it took about 30 seconds. We're going to go ahead and build our air pressure back up so that we can perform our tug test and our service line test, service brake test. And remember, this is the most crucial, your air brake test. You can't emphasize it enough. You have to go in that specific order. You go out of order, the evaluator may just go ahead and tell you to stop. You have failed your pre-trip. Okay, we're at about 110. What I'm going to do is I want to check my trailer brakes, and I want to check my dump truck brakes. So I'm going to go ahead and put my clutch in, and I'm going to put it in first gear. I'm going to go ahead and check my trailer brakes. So in order to check my trailer brakes, I'm going to release the dump truck brakes. Once I release my dump truck brakes, I'm going to slowly let out on the clutch. And I can feel the vehicle grabbing and not moving, so that's showing me that my trailer brakes are holding me. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply my dump truck brakes and release my trailer brakes. I want to be sure that the dump truck brakes hold me. And my dump truck brakes hold me. Now I'm going to perform my last part of the air brake test. I'm going to go ahead and release my dump truck brakes. Now that we've seen that the dump truck brakes work and the trailer brakes work, we're going to go ahead and see if our service brake works. My vehicle's still in first gear. I'm going to release my dump truck brakes. I'm going to slowly release my clutch till I get going about 3 to 5 miles an hour, and then apply my brakes. And my brakes hold. My steering wheel did not steer to the left or the right, showing that I have any bad brakes or alignment. Once you've completed that, you may go ahead and put it in neutral. Pull both of your brakes out, and you may tell your evaluator that you've completed your in-cab and you've completed your air brake test. Okay, now we're going to proceed with our road test. Of course, at this time, the evaluator will be riding with you. You're going to want to make sure that the evaluator has their seat belt properly fastened. The evaluator will not take you down any area that would be dangerous to you. They're not going to take you in a residential area or down any road that's too narrow for you to get down on. They will take you safe areas. They may have you go over a bridge, under a bridge. They may have you cross railroad tracks and have you do a safety stop. So we're going to go ahead and proceed with our simulated road test. We're going to go ahead and put it in gear, and we're going to go ahead and release our brakes. Always drive with 2 hands on the wheel unless you are shifting gears. You will be graded on your upshifting as long as also your downshifting. So you're going to want to make sure that you do not coast. You cannot coast the length of your vehicle. We'll come to a full stop. The vehicle coming. We're going to wait for this vehicle to pass. We're going to proceed out into our lane. Now you may notice that while you're driving, the evaluator is writing things down or checking things. Don't get too worried. Don't think that you're doing something wrong. They're just marking the things that you are doing that need to be done. You're shifting, you're driving in your lane, 2 hands on the wheel. They're documenting all the things that you're doing correct, as much as maybe something that you're doing wrong. You want to occasionally check your mirrors. You want to make sure that you're in the lane. You want to make sure that there's nobody in your blind spot. Always want to look down occasionally at your gauges, your speedometer, temperature gauge, oil pressure gauge. Again, the instructor will be telling you ahead of time where you're going to turn, what you're going to do, which gives you plenty of time to prepare to turn or slow down or stop. We have a sign here for a bridge. It says 17 feet 8 inches. We're not going under the bridge. We're going to turn right up here. You will want to remember what the height of the bridge is, because once you go underneath that bridge, the evaluator may ask you, what was the height of the bridge that we just went under? And you're going to want to let them know that the height of that bridge was 17 feet 8 inches. Now we're turning. Again, remember, you will be graded on your downshifting as much as on your upshifting. Going to be making a right turn. Downshift in the first gear. Stopping. We're looking both ways. Traffic is clear. You want to also make sure that when you are on an incline or even on a flat surface, you do not want the truck to roll back. Keep your foot on the brake and the clutch depressed. With these trucks, you can let the clutch out with your foot on the brake. It will go ahead and grab, and then you can release your brake and put your foot on the throttle. We're going to be turning left up here, so we're going to go ahead, look, check our mirrors. Our lane is clear. We're going to go over 1 lane at a time. We were in the right lane, we're going over 1 lane at a time. Our left lane is clear. We're proceeding over into the left lane. Now during this time, your evaluator will be telling you where you're going and what lane to be in. They will let you know that we're going to be making a left turn up here. Put your left turn signal on, begin to slow down, downshift your vehicle, look in your mirrors, make sure that your lane is clear to move over into. We're downshifting. We're going to come to a stop because we have a vehicle that's coming against us. We want to make sure we stay as far to the right as we can in the lane because we want to keep the vehicle and the trailer in the lane. Again, the evaluator is going to tell you we're going to go ahead and make a left turn. And we'll let you know ahead of time. Put your turn signal on. Go ahead and begin to downshift. Come up to your intersection, come to a complete stop. You want to look both ways. You're clear. Proceed all the way over into the right lane. Now you may be driving and you'll be on the road and the evaluator will tell you, I want you to make an emergency stop on this road. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make an emergency stop. What I'm going to do after this speed limit sign, I'm going to go ahead and put my right turn signal on. To make sure my left lane's clear and my right lane's clear, I'm going to go ahead and downshift, and I'm going to proceed off the lane and get as far to the right as I can off of the travel lane. Once I have come off the lane, I am going to come to a complete stop. I'm going to put my truck in neutral. I'm going to pull both brakes out, and I'm going to put my four-way hazards on. I have made an emergency stop. Once you've made your emergency stop, the evaluator would say that's fine. Go ahead and proceed. What you're going to want to do is put your truck in first gear. You're going to want to release both brakes, release your four-ways, and put your left turn signal on. And now you may proceed back onto the lane. Look in your left mirror, make sure that that lane is clear for you to proceed. And now you may proceed back onto your lane. You're going to want to make sure that you turn your left turn signal off. An evaluator is going to ask you, what do you do when you come up to a railroad crossing? I'm going to lower my window so I can hear if there's a sound of a train. I'm going to stay in the lane that I am in and in the gear that I am. Looking, I'm going to proceed across the railroad track, staying in the same lane and in the same gear. Once I look at my mirrors and my trailer has cleared the railroad tracks, I may now proceed. I may switch lanes if I need to, but I can now proceed on. And again, you may notice that the evaluator's writing things. Doesn't mean you've necessarily done anything wrong. They're writing down and checking that you did a proper railroad crossing procedure. You did your right emergency stop. You're looking at your mirrors. You're maintaining both hands on the steering wheel. You're within the speed limit. You're maintaining your vehicle in the proper lane. All these things are annotated. You want to be very careful because, especially with braking, because some people don't realize you're braking. And they'll come very close to the back of your trailer. So you want to be very observant of somebody behind you. You want to give them plenty of warning what you're going to do. We're going to be making a right turn up here. So you're going to want to let the person behind you, I have somebody behind me right now. I'm going to want to let them know my intentions. I'm going to go ahead and put my right turn signal on and let them know that I'm going to be turning right at this intersection. And I'm going to begin to downshift and get into a lower gear as I come up. I want to let the truck brake me. It's a four-way stop. I've come to a complete stop. I may proceed on through. Going to a butt hook. Coming up to another railroad track. Going to downshift. I'm going to stay in this gear. My window's down to here. Looking at my trailer. My trailer is cleared. I may now proceed. You do not have to put your four ways on, and you do not need to stop unless the evaluator states that you are carrying hazardous cargo and placards. But because we don't have any hazardous cargo or any placards, you can proceed through without having to stop or put your four-ways on. Coming up to a stoplight, we're going to be turning right. We put our right turn signal on. And again, the evaluator will be telling you where you're going to turn, and they will give you plenty notice so that you can prepare to turn. You always want to look out your right mirror because you do not want to go up over the curb. One of the ways an evaluator can fail your driving test is if you go up over a curb. So you're going to want to make sure that you swing out wide enough to avoid hitting the curb. There we go, we have a green light. Now I can proceed. Looking through my right mirror, swinging, I'm plenty of room to make this turn without going up over the curb. Coming back, we're going to go ahead and make a right turn back into the yard. So we put our right turn signal on. Again, we're checking our mirrors. We're downshifting. We want to again make sure that we swing wide enough not to hit this curb. Looking in our mirror. Coming up to the gate. There's somebody in front of me. I'm slowing down. Downshifting. Both hands on the wheel. All during this time, the evaluator is checking that you have two hands on the wheel, you're downshifting, you're looking in your mirrors, your speed, your distance between vehicles. You want to maintain a safe distance, as safe as you can. And you'll just, the evaluator will be telling you where to go. They'll be telling you, okay, we're going to pull up here. We're going to go ahead and stop here. So we're going to go ahead and stop. You're going to go on ahead and put it in neutral. Pull both brakes out. And the evaluator will tell you right there. They will count up your points and they will tell you right there, congratulations, you've passed, you have your CDL. Or they may tell you you need a little bit more time on your test, either shifting gears, downshifting, your safety aspect, your speed, you're not keeping both hands on the wheels. But hopefully this video will help you and get you to pass your test.